Breaking news just in. The man who attacked a Las Vegas judge just pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. You're looking at the suspect, Deobra Redden, in the courtroom just moments ago. Redden appeared for his arraignment alongside his new lawyer. In the shocking video since seen around the world last month, Redden was seen leaping over the bench to attack Judge Mary Kay Holthus. After that hearing, Redden's sister and foster mom says he suffers from schizophrenia and was not on his medication at the time he attacked Judge Holthus. Redden is due back in court on April 23rd.